Also with us, Senator Roger Marshall from Kansas. He's also a medical doctor and served in the Army Reserve for 7 years. Gentlemen, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having us.
Be here.
Senator Marshall, you know, we're always kind of reluctant to use the word lie when it comes to politics. There's words like half-truths and, obfuscation and, not getting the whole story here. But there have been so many, just explicit lies that President Biden has been caught in. Now, do you think he's lying intentionally to the American public, or they just don't have a handle on the situation to the point where they can give us honest answers?
Perhaps it's both. This is what we know, is that the Taliban is giving us an August 31st deadline for all practical purposes. And I can't explain all the past mistakes of this administration, but their focus needs to be locked in on getting American citizens out of there right now, that we're not going to leave anybody behind them. At first, I thought this was an intelligence failure, but now I realize this White House sees foreign policy through the lens of politics and through polling, as opposed to what's in the best interests of this nation.
And Cash, it seems like there's a lot of attempts to throw certain sections of the government overboard here when it comes to this. What we're hearing from the State Department now is almost like Tony Blinken is trying to protect himself in this situation. And it seems like there's more pressure on President Biden every day, even coming from his own party, to step aside. Now, we do expect him this afternoon to heap a lot of blame on the Trump administration. And I want to go back specifically to this topic we were talking about yesterday with you, Cash, and that is the contingency plans that the Trump administration had in place, and the reports now that President Biden undid those plans. Why would he do that again? It seems like either kind of intentional, that they didn't know or didn't care, or just a huge oversight and a lack of understanding about the reality on the ground.
So the senator and I are in agreement on this one. This is what happens when you politicize the national security apparatus of the United States of America. And this is what happens when you don't put mission first, like we did under President Trump. I don't need a leaked State Department cable to tell me, to prove to the American people that the Biden administration and Chairman Miller are lying about being caught off guard. The intelligence was there. We had a conditions-based withdrawal. Mark Milley was still the chairman under President Trump, and we issued those conditions-based withdrawals successfully based on the intelligence on the ground, and we were successful in safeguarding American security interests and slowly withdrawing our forces out of Afghanistan in a proper manner. We handed that entire deck off during the largest transition I spearheaded for the Department of Defense in presidential history, and they simply chose to ignore it for politics, as the senator said, because they did not want to give President Trump credit for successfully withdrawing or beginning the withdrawal out of Afghanistan. And unfortunately, politicizing the national security interests of the American people is a preeminent goal of this administration, and we are suffering for it.
There are certainly examples from which you could make that argument. I also want to talk about how this looks to our allies, especially our British allies. A report from the Daily Telegraph says President Biden ignored Prime Minister Boris Johnson's calls for 36 hours. 36 hours, Senator Marshall. That's not great when, this is the special relationship we're supposed to have. And at the same time, we're hearing about reports of British and French Air Force material being used to get those folks out of the country. Why can't the Americans do the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. This is the same president who refuses to talk to the American press, to talk to the American people, to explain why we have 15,000 Americans that are, for all practical purposes, being held hostage by the Afghan. The same president that won't say, why are our troops not going in there to free those Americans? The British, they're doing it. They're already in there getting their citizens back. We have more assets available on the ground right now than the Brits do. Why are we letting the Taliban push us around like this? This will be a scar on America for decades to come.
And Cash, we're hearing reports from Clarissa Ward at CNN that, there have been no American planes that have left the airport, Hamid Karzai Airport, in at least 8 hours. Why would that be? Is that because the Taliban are calling the shots? Are they delaying this in some way, despite the fact that we're hearing from the Biden administration that everything is functioning for Americans who want to leave the airport?
Sure. And this is another unfortunate example of what happens when you don't have a plan in place. First of all, we gave up Bagram Airfield, our command and control center for Afghanistan, our brain, where we privately owned multiple runways where we could have used to employ and deploy forces and also withdraw American citizens and machinery and weaponry. Biden just gave that up. That was never part of the Trump plan. Furthermore, just for folks who don't know, Hamid Karzai International Airport is a civilian-controlled airport that's helped run by foreigners, including the Turks, and the Americans owned or occupied a half of it. But since we just up and left out of there, we no longer have any say in its control or its security, which is why you have Americans who can't even get through to the airport. And another tragic situation on top of all this is the State Department's outreach to American citizens in country. They're saying, here's a phone number, see if you can make it through a war-torn nation and come get us. That's not how the United States secures its citizens overseas. We go and find them and bring them home. And if we still had Bagram, we'd have an airlift support situation where we could do that from, as the senator said, and we just don't have that because there is no plan, and all there is blame game from this administration.
Yeah, and you know, when you think about, the Turks, too, is another great example, Cash, of someone who ostensibly should be our ally, our NATO ally, but they haven't been acting like that recently. And, you know, whose side are they going to really help us out if we need them to in this type of situation? That is an open question. What do you think, Senator?
You know, I guess I'm just so frustrated. It's just inconceivable what this administration has done. President Trump, Secretary Pompeo had a condition-based plan going forward, working with the Taliban. We didn't just leave their airport this time. We actually took all the people that can make the airplanes fly with us as well. So we basically got out of there, leaving them without their own air force to enforce them as well. You know, what are we going to do with all the 10 or 15,000 Americans there? How are we going to get them out? How are we going to get the allies of our American soldiers out of there as well? We've received 300 contacts already, people reaching out to our office saying, hey, we got families still there. We've got Afghanis still there as well, working hard to get those people back as well with some success.
Senator Roger Marshall, thank you so much. Kash Patel, great to talk to you again. We appreciate it. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.